Welcome everyone to another update to our amazing App Store saga here with our even more amazing scanner business. Just not a paid advertisement, just some random scanner. And if you thought I make this stuff up, then boy, were you wrong. So new updates, it's becoming so hilarious, it's unbelievable. If you're interested in the details, I made a couple of videos previously about even a support call and all the emails, because seriously, in my opinion, this is not how even the previous support and all the issues happening and such, not how one of the wealthiest and largest and AAA companies in the world should behave. And today it became even more insane. So over the last years, we had our apps rejected for screenshots, for duplicated icons, for having a link which might not even have been clickable due to AppStore's internal not HTML rendering stuff. So even a link that you would need to copy and paste with the mouse, even that was censored. It was compatible scanner list like exactscan.com/compatible scanners. That was censored for that site providing alternative means for purchasing the application. Not kidding. And our builds were disappearing, previous videos. And then even our update was rejected for having a duplicated icon. Yes, seriously, with our own app, only two, not like 100 spam apps, only ExactScan Pro, it's the same icon. After 100 updates and 7 years, this was also rejected the previous month. In tonight's update, you will not believe. So right now we have the issue with Catalina being so broken that even our amazing app didn't start. And I actually didn't think that Apple would release Catalina like this overnight, so broken as it was, but they did, because being Apple. And so we actually thought, our Apple support told us, don't worry, we will fix some of those crashes. This is why we did not adapt for this multi-threading crashes, previous video, because not thread safe in 2019. We did not adapt for this before because our technical support inquiry said, don't worry, we will fix some of those. That's, yeah, but nobody did. Okay, fine. So of course, what have we done? We worked over that weekend, the previous weekend, and fixed all those thread safety issues because 2019. And we have still, I'm not making this shit up here, we have still not this update approved, and we certainly voted with our finger and money and pulled our app from the App Store, because certainly it makes no sense to sell an app that doesn't start on Catalina for like 90% of the time, because threading is like... Okay, anyway. So we already sent 4 or 5 updates to Apple. So initially the first were rejected for crashing, like, yeah, it's crashing on Catalina, no surprise. But honestly, it didn't crash for us, right? So for us and all our other customers, it's right now working, even though it's still maybe crashing for Apple, which it's not doing for us. So whatever, maybe they test with the latest cheese grater app and it has 32 threads, I don't know. But they also see this double standard and how insane this process. Instead that we determine this app is good enough and works for us, and we have no single open issue with our direct licensed customers. Instead of getting this version to the customers, Apple is still arguing with us, hey, it's crashing. Okay, fine. Then there are 2 issues. First, for ExactScan, we have ExactScan Pro. ExactScan, they have now finally rejected this, you need to sandbox it, finally. It's like, yeah, but so far the last 100 updates in 7 years, you always listed there previous existing applications are exempt from the sandboxing. I said already before why we can't really sandbox it, but fine. Let's focus on ExactScan Pro, because that is not sandboxing. This is hilarious. So first of all, you get this email. Dear Rene, we have sent you a new message about your app, ExactScan Pro, Apple ID something, which by the way probably shouldn't have shown, but whatever. To view or reply to this message, go to the Resolution Center in the App Store Connect. Best regards, App Store review. So I already said this before, and I want to call it out again, that, and I'm sorry that I'm repetitive, I really hate this email. Why do I hate this? Because you don't have this information. In my opinion, they should include the freaking information in there, because now, good morning everyone, now, first of all, I'm laying in bed, it's midnight, it was 11:22 last night, and being a managing director, of course, I went in my pajama, went to my Mac and handled the stupid case. So nearly midnight, the stuff of doing global business, fine. However, instead of, I can immediately on my smartphone see what's going on. Why is this information, this message, why is there reason X, Y, Z not in this email? It's hilarious. Also, maybe they do this intentionally. So being Apple, being one of the largest and not amazing companies, maybe it has a reason, because I could think they intentionally don't do this, that you don't have this in your file, in your archive, because now you never have archived what was going on with the application. So if you have a lawsuit, maybe allegedly, or anything else, you want to prove something, you never have this freaking stuff archived. Okay, fine. You go to the resolution center, which also, the next thing, really sucking UI, that unfortunately I can't show you this live here in this amazing freaking resolution center, because now I already responded to this, because certainly I finally after a week maybe want to get this update to this poor App Store customers. And because I already responded here, it disappeared. It's like, what the freaking heck? I mean, and again, maybe the same, maybe Apple intentionally is hiding this information so that if there is some dispute, we or anyone else doesn't have this stuff in their file, because because normally here would be pending stuff here for resolution view issue, but because I already responded last night at midnight, because we work here in the morning and in the evening, basically the whole day, half of the day for free for open source, because certainly. Anyway, so this is really, thank you very much, Apple. Why do you need to show, can you not show us the finger like that? Why can you not have this archived here? And by the way, if they want, so you see, you click on this, you don't have this, at least as far as I know, you even from previous messages, so with all this stuff, you do not see what was going on here. So knowing this, I made a screenshot, because otherwise I couldn't show it to you. So this is a message from last night, not making this stuff up. You see a screenshot even last night here, 23:34. And because I knew already, this is exactly what apparently then disappears as far as I know, because activity, where was this even? Activity here, unresolved resolution center, I don't know, it's anyway. Also here, even here the UI sucks, because here you see how well can Apple program, apparently as buggy as macOS and peak bugs. Even here you see 1910 and so on, metadata rejected. This is not the reason. So this is a UI bug, I would argue, because only the last update was metadata rejected. The previous was other stuff. This was never metadata rejected. So this was performance. I've even maybe shown this live on YouTube. So this was application performance, meaning with performance they mean Apple. This is Apple clean speak. With performance they meant it's crashing. So this was performance whatsoever, something blah blah blah. So this is, I would argue, a UI bug, certainly not amazing, but anyway. So the real message is here. Hello, thank you for resubmission. However, upon further review, we found that your app is out of compliance with the following guidelines. Guideline 2.1, information needed. Like, what the heck guideline is this? This is not even a freaking point. This is not performance crashing, legal stuff. This, what the heck, guidelines 2.1 information needed? Are you completely freaking kidding me? I can't, the story is writing itself. I could not even make this stuff up. If I wanted to make a comedy show, I would not come up with this. We begun, by the way, sorry, this is zooming, because this is high DPI, only zooming on the screen here. We begun the review of your application, yes, for 7 times over the course of the last 2 weeks already, thank you very much. Review of your app, but are not able to continue because we need access to video of your app in use with hardware. Are you freaking nuts? This, honestly, I have seen links rejected to our website for providing alternative payment sources. I have seen crashes, bugs, duplicate icons, not approved screenshots, all kind of garbage over. This is the first time we got, hey, send us a video of you using the app with hardware. Seriously, now I should probably put some link to this video. Hey, here is a scanner, we plug it now in, and then we click on the scan button. It's like, I have no freaking words anymore. And by the way, maybe this is slightly clipped video of demonstration. So this was slightly clipped, because access video that demonstrates your app in use with hardware. And so in previous times, I know our exact scan, of course, does not only work with special snowflake scanners. It works theoretically with any image capture or Twang compatible scanner, as far as they have working drivers. And I know from previous bug reports, because we had app rejected because it didn't work for some freaking vendor AB set random scanner. That's the Apple review freaks had there on their desk. So in previous times they scan, but anyway, this is so hilarious. We argue for 2 weeks. You see here, or maybe I can show you even, so you here, we submitted an update on the 8th, on the 9th, on the 10th, on the 13th, just for this 9.10 version. Probably somewhere, anyway, doesn't matter. This is already open since September 23rd. I think you could see there somewhere, but whatever. And October something, wait, here is the overview. Let's go to the overview. So not kidding that here, so since October, no, this is a new, so you see so many stuff sent in there. So this version is open since September 24. We were preparing for Catalina, and we submitted the first build here on October the 8th, rejected on the 9th, new submission because we fixed some crashes, rejected on the 10th because apparently it was still crashing, but maybe Apple also didn't have to break everything with stuff that isn't, or not to break everything, all right, thread safe, previous video. Even here you see, in this stupid view, even here you don't have the reason, right? So you have nothing archived. You have not archived, rejected for crashing, rejected for metadata, rejected for performance. So the last was, most of them were performance for crashing. It's hilarious. It is so sad, and if you wonder why I'm not only turning to YouTube but really getting frustrated with Apple, Microsoft, they are not lovely companies. They are just maximizing profits. They are so huge, they don't even know. In my opinion, Apple is becoming the new Microsoft, and Apple is repeating exactly their mistake of the 90s. So most likely, in my opinion, if not some wonder is happening, like they throw out Tim Apple and replace him with some more genius, then I see Apple repeating all their mistakes in the 90s, alienating their customers, with not only Macs that nobody wants to buy, with keyboards that are broken, with software that is buggy, and with behavior that is no better than Microsoft was in the 90s and stuff. And again, we want also, why do we need this Chinese Soviet-like centralized censorship of Apple there in the middle, when we and the customer, first of all, they even take 30% of our revenue that is missing for support and development. And on top of this, why can we and our customers not decide what works, instead that we get something to the customers? First they say it's crashing a little bit maybe for them, which by the way didn't crash like that for me, but whatever. Maybe they should send a cheese grater to me. But second of all, this is important. Stuff is not working with the previous version. Instead of working with us and getting this to the customer ASAP, first and last, now they want a video. Anyway, probably no need to go back to video production, this time for Apple. You can't make this stuff up. I sent them, so why is this waiting for review? First of all, I wrote them, hello, are you freaking kidding me? We really urgently need to get this bug fixed to the customers, because this current App Store version crashes 95% for nearly everyone directly on start. So maybe we can finally get our act together and get this version released. And then I thought, wait a second, I go to bed now because it was midnight, certainly. And then I thought, okay, maybe let's get Apple something to do, and I just provided them a link to my YouTube video of explaining ExactScan, in the hopes that maybe in the night while I sleep they can already watch this amazing YouTube video, the basic introduction of ExactScan and how to use it. Welcome everyone in the audience. Let's see, what do we have here? I guess somebody got to work Monday, so how can we probably, but honestly, so I certainly don't think someone at Apple is sitting there and thinking, how can we screw this over? I think this is just different people, you see. Even previously, for 100 times they approved our update, and then just 2 months ago they said, we don't approve anymore because duplicate icon, like seriously, what the heck? And then also the other thing, like right now they have ExactScan rejected, which theoretically I could also show you, and I think just the reviewers are so different, so much too. It is amazingly reviewed, and they are the most geniuses, and it's the best for the customers, and everything is super amazing. And in reality, of course, they use the cheapest employees they can find, so I would not be surprised if they have outsourced this to India and China. and at least that is what I'm guessing, but correct me if I'm wrong. Here's exact scan. That is here rejected right now. Where is even the resolution center here? And that is rejected for sandboxing. And even though I replied, say, hey, look, you approved this for 7 years, 100 times, and this is 2.4. Also, yeah, they can't even format this properly. They have a space there and now it looks alien. 2.4 performance, hardware compatibility, macOS. Thank you for your feedback. Would appreciate if you could request the requested change so your application is not in violation of 2.4. Yes, 2.4, but here 2.245. I wrote there why it's an old app before the change, and macOS is secure. Yeah, also it should be sandbox, right? I just rubbing it a little bit under their nose, like, hey, macOS is secure, and even on macOS Catalina, the whole root volume is read-only. Like, hey, why do you even ask so much for sandboxing? First of all, you tell everyone macOS X is secure, and the root volume is now read-only. Why the heck do you even need the sandboxing now so much if everything is already so super duper protected? This never was an issue, and we need to get this Catalina compatible update to users. So yeah, that wasn't helpful anyway. So I think they are just not geniuses, and there's one cheap employee in India versus one other cheap employer maybe in China, I don't know. But I mean, certainly one thing is clear. I would not expect Apple to use their highest paid triple 6-digit salary in Cupertino to do app reviews, and so it's not far-fetched for me to speculate that they use the cheapest review geniuses they can find for this task. And I think it's just random people. So there you see, this is total bullshit. Some people approve it, some people do not approve it, some people argue around, some people do not argue around, and it's just hilarious. And this is why I document this, because it's total piece of piling garbage that is worth nothing. It's only costing our time, the user's time. Don't guess how many emails we have. We answered the last days over 1,000 emails, because certainly we have more than one unsuccessful customer here in our amazing company. And so we answered 1,000 emails, and what do we do? Tell the customers, of course, me being me, of course, we have an email that says, we are very sorry for your inconvenience. We submitted already multiple updates to the App Store. Unfortunately, none of them was yet positively reviewed and approved because of this reason and the other. We are so sorry that you experienced this inconvenience in Apple's App Store. Here is a build that you can load. Additionally, please, and by the way, that also, you really need to tell people everything. So we have a step-by-step. Please do not touch /application exact scan. It needs to stay there because it includes the DRM, the digital rights management, purchase received from Apple's App Store. Please put this side-loaded download anywhere else where you want. For example, your desktop or your download folder. And then you can run this update, which does not crash, which Apple did not yet approve because reasons. Now they want a video. And we are very sorry for your inconvenience of this new bugs encountered in Catalina. So we are certainly not stupid not to tell each and all those customers, we are very sorry, but Apple really broke this and is not even willing to approve this update. What should we do? Actually, so the Graver writes, maybe we have a special dice for this. Actually, I'm actually somewhat surprised, to be honest. I'm somewhat surprised that Apple approved for like 5 years this not sandboxed app. I was expecting when they introduced sandboxing, which is not so long ago, which maybe 5 or 4 years or something in, I don't know, whatever that was, El Capitan or 10.10 or whatever, something of that sort. And from the beginning said, it is for new applications, and existing applications do not need to do this. They can be updated. And actually, I always expecting the worst from Apple. Obviously, I expected Apple to allow us the sandboxed app, not sandboxed app, for maybe a year or two. I was surprised that they continued to allow to update this for like 5 years now. So it's like half a surprise, but honestly, there are so many issues with the App Store. Outside of the App Store, we can still distribute this version, right? At least that. So most likely we will just stop the App Store altogether, especially as Apple is eating 30% in this margin here. And this is why we will most likely simply stop the App Store and carry on with our own business, because this makes no sense. It wastes so much time and energy that we could spend making exact scan better, fixing real bugs, but no, we need to argue with Apple, makes them a video, and it's hilarious. And I said the reason we don't want the sandboxing is because for the most part, our scan application, in the cheap scanners, you can put maybe 30, 25, I don't know, this is a cheap scanner, pages. In the better scanners, you can put 80 pages. In the really high-end scanners, you can put 500 scanners. You have seen this most expensive reverse engineered scanner we recently done this year here on this channel. And then if you at an insurance bank or medical hospital and you put in there 500 patient records, you don't want your freaking Mac application to ask you for each and every file generated, hey dear user, do you want to give this app permission to save customer record ABC12345 in your documents folder, yes or no or maybe? And it's hilarious. Sending an email, what else do we have? Say hello, sending an email that you have a new message, really Apple. Yeah, this is really, and this is why I do not want to copy Louis Rossmann. I just want to publish also my thoughts. I do not want to, of course, I have here valid criticism. Like if you send the message inline, you can read it directly and don't need to go to a freaking, and also I think when you go to the freaking AppStore application, here there is some iTunes Connect crap for the iPhone. I'm pretty sure that, at least I would think so, that you can't even, so even if you are on Apple's blessed iOS platform, you can maybe not even read this message here. Actually, I don't even try so often because usually, actually it's a resolution center. Oh no, you can, fair enough, you can read it here. Okay, I take this back, you can read this message here. Anyway, but again, this is most likely really, so if you want to have this documented for any potential legal issue later, you need to make a screenshot or copy and paste it, and then, yeah, it's of course not, it's hilarious. I'm build well, what I'm sure build 10, yeah, and I'm actually considering, so we are here of course professionals, so I'm still, earlier it was fully automated, just that Apple kept changing Xcode and new stuff here and there. I'm actually considering just to fully automate this, and each time they reject this, send a new build that is whatever we've done. Of course, each day we add support for a new freaking cheap scanner or other fun image processing, fixing bugs with Catalina and fun threading stuff like that. And it just like right now it's disabled in the App Store. Just send Apple a new build because wasting their time, why not? That is certainly what they deserve if you waste our time. And just hope for the build 1910 666 or so. Going through, because why not? I only what and Technic Optics, what the heck? YouTube must really hate me. I can't like the stream. It's increment and becomes blue for a second too, or I have the feeling, Christian, you are on YouTube's Google blacklist, like I'm on Apple's blacklist. But I heard actually that some other like independent news sites also had this issue, that some of those channels may intentionally be a little bit glitchy, not to accumulate too many views and likes. Same for the Graver and Foxlit Fox. Apple is fairly annoying with some of the security choices, but Linux is still not there yet. Says Foxlit Fox and the Graver. What the Graver suspects that Apple's Monkey just follow scripts, and some are more aware of apps that are grandfathered in and just rejected. Yeah, and actually we could get the sandboxing already argued away 2 or 3 times. So like a year ago and 2 years ago, sometimes it came up like, hey, sandbox it, and we always like, yeah, hey, what do you want here? Is exception, legacy apps and stuff, and then they approved it. But yeah, sometimes more than sometimes. Usually, I found that often it is better not to argue with them and just like send the same version again, like increment the version number and send it again, and then 50% chance that it goes through. That was my experience from the last 2 years. And there you see how amazing this review is. GSM interference on the mic. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, I got a call. Customer certainly asking for. Yeah, just this is an update. This is live in the App Store, and why I increasingly not only to turn to YouTube to build an alternative educational video business here, also more videos to come, but also to really publish what a double standard this is. And by the way, what do you think Apple would argue if Apple would need to have to send each iTunes release to Microsoft for review for a decade? Imagine what outcry this would be if Microsoft constantly would reject iTunes because it's too buggy, it's too slow, like reason 145, whatever, let's look this up. What was it? Reason 2 for Microsoft rejecting iTunes for reason 245, performance, app is too slow and crashy. Yeah, that would of course be something else, right? And this is why also but probably I make another short. See you in. Let's call back this customer and tell you another story. So another macOS story later to keep this videos brief. Hope you enjoyed this and learned something. Certainly, this is not how you're doing. If you send automated messages, include the information, not only that people see it, but also archiving. Except if you're Apple and you don't want the people archive your random garbage. And otherwise, probably better stay out of the App Store. And why, in general, we probably, in my opinion, we don't want App Stores for mobile devices or any devices. If Apple says an iPad is a computer, we should be able to load our own applications, like our own OpenOffice or even Linux. And if we do not stop this trend, I see even on Windows and stuff, in 5 years, in 10 years, everything will be closed ecosystems where we can't even get like secure boot. You need a certificate. And then if you have the certificate, even this is rejected for, we don't like it. We don't like the screenshot. We don't like this icon. It's hilarious. And why I want, similar to rights to repair, voice our concern here that this is not the future, in my opinion, that we should be longing for. Hope you learned something. See you soon. And I have a call to make, and then I make another short live stream, what I probably also wanted to share.